A Canadian's Guide to Bringing Alcohol Back Across the U.S. Border. We've given you a detailed roundup of cross-border shopping regulations, but here's a more detailed discussion of limits on bringing alcohol across the Canadian-American border. What you can bring back within 24 hours, over 48 hours, after 7 days, alcohol taxes and duties, shipping alcohol yourself, hot tips for crossing the border with booze. Heading down to Seattle for a concert and unsure of what to do with your leftover six-pack? Catching a ballgame in Detroit and hoping to bring some microbrews home to celebrate? Want to return from your Napa Valley vineyard tour with a few bottles? Here's our foolproof guide to moving across the Canada-U.S. border with alcohol. Under 24 hours, aka same-day cross-border shopping. Sorry, no personal exemptions. You have to declare and pay duties and taxes for any alcohol that you bring back into Canada if you're doing a trip of less than 1 day. If you could just pop across the border and buy a few bottles of wine, would the half of our population who live close enough to America to drive there in a few hours ever shop at their local liquor store? You can roll the dice and forget about the bottle in your luggage, but if you're unlucky and get searched, you could be delayed, harassed, flagged, and/or charged the duties anyhow. It's your call. After 48 hours. This is the ticket. After 48 hours, your personal exemption shoots up to goods valuing $800, and your personal exemption kicks in. You can bring back a 2.4 of beer, 8.5 litres, or 2 bottles of wine, 1.5 litres, or 1 bottle of liquor, 1.14 litres, without paying taxes or duties. The personal exemption applies to everyone travelling in your vehicle who is above the legal drinking age in their province of residence. So if you can fit all of those bottles and all of those non-drinking friends in a minivan, load them up and camp out for a few days so that you can combine exemptions. After 7 days, your alcohol can travel separately from you. The personal exemption does not change. How much you have to pay in duties and taxes on alcohol. That, of course, doesn't mean that you can't bring alcohol back across the border on a same-day trip. In fact, you can bring up to 45 litres of alcohol at a time for personal use across the border at any time, as long as you declare it and pay the duties and taxes. The duties are governed by the ever-changing Byzantine schedule of Canadian tariffs that cover trade with other countries. The taxes you pay depend on your province of entry. Provincial or harmonized sales taxes will apply, the amount varying from province to province. Check out the chart below. Canadian provincial and territorial tax rates. Province, Alberta. Total sales tax, 5%. British Columbia. Total sales tax, 12%. Manitoba. Total sales tax, 13%. New Brunswick. Total sales tax, 13%. Newfoundland and Labrador. Total sales tax, 13%. Northwest Territories. Total sales tax, 5%. Nova Scotia. Total sales tax, 15%. Nunavut. Total sales tax, 5%. Ontario. Total sales tax, 13%. Prince Edward Island. Total sales tax, 14%. Quebec. Total sales tax, 15%. Saskatchewan. Total sales tax, 10%. Yukon. Total sales tax, 5%. Ontario's liquor monopoly, the LCBO, has a series of helpful charts outlining the standard duty and taxes for importing alcohol to that province, and the rules more or less apply across the country. You must be of legal drinking age, and you have to bring or ship the alcohol to your province of residence. The 45 litres can be any combination of wine, liquor or beer, and you have to produce receipts for your purchases. In general, expect the cost of your beer and liquor to double and the price of your wine to increase by 60% once you've paid duties and taxes at the border. Because of the lower prices of alcohol in America, that means an average case of 24 beers will basically reach the Canadian price for the same when you bring it across the border. Will you save money? No, but you can access a wide range of specialty items unavailable in Canada for modest extra costs. The tightly regulated alcohol markets in Quebec, Ontario and Nova Scotia make this an especially attractive proposition. The more freewheeling alcohol policies of the western provinces mean much greater diversity in liquor store offerings, so it's best to check to see if your local stores offer the wine of your dreams before you plan that road trip. Top 10 brews unavailable in Canada worth paying duties for. 1. Breckenridge 451 Small Batch IPA, Ultra Hoppy Treat from Denver. 2. Nebraska Reserve Series Mélange à Trois, Belgian-style strong pale ale from the Midwest. 3. Cigar City Manduro Brown Ale, English brown ale from Tampa. 4. Ridgewood Old Thumper Extra Special Ale, dry and malty ale from Portland, Maine. 5. Snake River Zonka Stout, thick and tasty dark beer from Jackson, Wyoming. 6. Peekskill Higher Standard Imperial IPA, more hops, this time from upstate New York. 7. Horsehead's Chocolate Porter, just as much a dessert as a beer, from a town called Horseheads in New York. 8. Founder's Kentucky Breakfast Stout, and this one from Grand Rapids, Michigan, is just as much breakfast as a beer. 9. Hill Farmstead Double Citra Imperial IPA, a hoppy gem from Vermont. 10. Smutty Nose Baltic Porter, New Hampshire's finest. Hot tips. If it's really important to you to grab a few exotic imperial stouts or hop-forward ales when you're in Vermont, grab a few and declare them. Message boards and anecdotal evidence suggest that most border guards won't bother waving you over to the wicket, and even if they do, the duty will be likely under $10. Put your alcohol where the guard can see it, in the left back seat, and roll down the window, and keep your receipts at hand, literally in your hand, and you should be okay. With staffing shortages at busy border checkpoints causing guards to wave through many cross-border shoppers, now is as good a time as ever to bring a small collection of hard-to-find wines or beers, declare them, and head on home without paying an extra dime. For best results avoiding duties, remember our border crossing do's and don'ts, and fit the profile, look sharp, speak confidently and politely, and tell the truth. This also might be one of the few situations where a busy crossing is the preferred choice. Long lines mean harried and tired agents who may not want to bother with your bottle of rare tequila. Do the math. Is an extra 15 minutes in line worth saving the potential duty charge? Don't forget to pool your exemptions. This won't work with the kids on your family vacation, but taking advantage of the personal alcohol exemption of everyone in your car is a great way to maximize your duty-free limits. Make sure to distribute receipts evenly around the car. Have each adult take responsibility for his or her share of the haul, keeping in mind that the limits that kick in after 48 hours outside of Canada, 2 bottles of wine, a 40 of liquor and a case of beer, and be sure to declare everything. You can roll the dice and forget about a few bottles in your luggage, but if you're unlucky and you get searched, you could be delayed, harassed, flagged, and/or charged the duties anyhow. Border guards have the right to confiscate any alcohol that you do not declare, or charge you the large penalties, anywhere from 20 to 85% of the cost of the goods you forgot about, on top of taxes and duties. Misrepresenting yourself at the border will almost certainly result in having your passport flagged and make thorough searches likely at future crossings. Of course, there's one other way to cross the border in possession of alcohol. Don't forget to check out our article on bringing tobacco across the border. For more written content like this, check out immigrant.com/news and check out our free tools. Find any embassy in Canada. Find legal support globally to get you to Canada. Pass your citizenship test. Canadian immigration self-assessment.